Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rorix, and I'm joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
This is Sheldon. You probably know me as Captain Unova.
I am Mocha.
Well,
what do we call him on Game Corner? Is it Mocha or is it?
Okay, so
Is it explicitly not Rowan?
no, it's Rowan.
No, it's Rowan.
We definitely say Rowan. I for some reason, this has been the last 5 or 6 years of knowing people's real name after we met and not just were handles on Discord.
Of course.
I go between calling him, specifically just him, Rowan and Mocha all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone else has real names, but for some reason, Rowan is Mocha or vice versa. To me, in my head.
Yep, I'm with you. I'll call you Harrison like maybe once every 10 times. Yeah.
Yeah, but every other time it's Ro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which is also very confusing because there's the whole Rowan situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rowan. Yeah, it doesn't help.
No. Anyway, hi, I'm Mike. I'm from Pokesports.
There it is. I was like, so who are you?
Yeah.
And happy Pokemon Day. So
Yeah.
Hey, it's our birthday, all of us.
all of us
Everybody.
collectively, we're 29 years old today.
Wow. Is
That's
that really how long it's been
crazy.
around?
Yeah, 27 if you're only looking at the Americas.
Oh man.
Yeah, 1996
6.
is in Japan. What the colors are? Red and green. Those are the colors that came out.
Oh,
and
that's
then
true.
2 years later, red and blue and everywhere else.
I thought you meant the colors of Japan, like the flag. Like,
Yeah, what colors were the
No.
Japan flags? They're definitely
Red and green.
red and green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Christmas flag.
Christmas
We
flag.
love a Christmas flag.
Yeah, so that's Pokemon Day. We had Pokemon Presents earlier today, and we decided to bring on who ostensibly is our closest friend, who is also a Pokemon expert, Mr. Mike here from Pokesports.
Yeah, he also said I talked about it the most today. So
That is explicitly not what I said.
a position. You also said that I was really cool and had all the bling.
Those are more accurate, but you
Yes.
have no bling on you right now.
That's why I thought it was so weird.
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah. No, I
You
mean,
just have a natural glow.
Right.
You have a natural bling about you.
The closest thing to actual bling I have beside me is a loose HDMI cord. So there's that.
I
Yeah, what's
really
the
thought
closest bling beside you?
the
Everybody
okay.
look around, post in the comments. What's your closest bling?
You got a shiny pin.
For those of you who are married, again, first of all, both of you are married. You fail. You fail.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never wear that thing.
Yeah, neither do I.
I put it on. It's like with my keys, I'll put it on before I leave the house. But like other than that, because I don't like wearing jewelry.
Right. No, it's same here. Yeah. Like I have this activity band.
Wait,
but-
so you also failed then?
Yeah, that's true.
I
I mean, I have my headphones.
It's I'm wearing it, so it's not closest to me. It's a part of me.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. That's
I
my.
hope you show your wife this clip.
yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
The only clip of this whole podcast she'll ever watch.
This is the first time she's ever watched the Game Corner. That's amazing and sad.
And it'll just be a clip that just keep it in your back
Perfectly-
pocket if you
perfectly
need
clipped
some
out.
brownie points.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
good point. Good point. Yeah, I won't save it. Babe, I love you wherever you are.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so
Is she a ghost? Go ahead.
woo,
What if I never let you continue this podcast?
I'm okay
What
with
if
it.
we never get to Pokemon?
I don't. I have a whole list of the Pokemon Day stuff. I have actually that's the same list but shorter. And if we don't touch
that.
any of it, what? Why?
Why would you do
Because
that? Why would you make the same list twice, but the second time bad?
I actually it was the reverse. I made the worst list the first time, and then I was like, I should expound upon this, and then I did.
Fair. What's
I
the
just
worst
looked at
list
them.
you've ever made?
You're really not gonna let me do this podcast. Let's see. What's the worst list I ever made? Of people who I said have the most bling, and it did start with you.
That's worst list? I have a best list.
Ooh.
Oh. It's
I don't know, what's the worst?
Go ahead. Talk
do
about
you-
your Pokemon.
No. I'm not gonna let us go just yet. Do you like mentally keep a list of all your lists? Because that's insane.
I keep an Excel spreadsheet of all my mental lists.
That makes
which
more
is-
sense.
Yeah.
The layers.
Yep. I also keep a Sheets document of all my Excel lists. So.
Okay, but however, I don't use Sheets or Excel. I use LibreOffice. Have you ever used
fair.
that?
No, never heard of it.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
It's worse than like Google Drive's version of it, Google Docs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I keep all of those in a keynote that I have
Okay.
created. And then I keep all of my keynotes listed in Corel WordPerfect.
After you then print it out onto dot matrix paper
Naturally.
and keep it in a safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do normally spend like the first like 10, 15 minutes of an episode like doing small talk, but I think.
Oh, I could get us there. For
Oh, no,
sure I could get us
we've been there.
Oh, okay.
We've been in small talk. But if you have anything else you want to add that's not necessarily list related, how have you been, Mike? I haven't
check my
seen you
list.
in so long.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I mean, I've been good. I've been moving, and I have let this be the longest move that I've ever done.
I was gonna ask how long you've been moving because before we started recording, you mentioned that, and I'm like, oh yeah, you said you're moving like I think 2 years ago, but that might not be true.
Well, that was also true. Yeah, it's been a time ever since COVID. I've been moving like it feels like 2 years.
That's fair.
But now we're like finally moving into the forever home. So
Into the forever home.
Again, we're letting it take
For 2 years.
longer. Yeah,
That's the forever part of it.
yeah.
The
It's
move.
the forever move.
Yes. Okay.
But this move has been like 4 months, and it's probably going to take another 4 months. But
Ooh.
I don't envy you for that.
Yeah, moving's like the worst.
We were like, okay, let's move before the grade starts, because I have a child and she went to she did school, goes to school. That's a thing.
As they do.
Kids do, as they do sometimes. And we were like, okay, let's try and move during the summer, and then that didn't work out, and then I guess let's maybe move later, and then we found a house after school started, and we're like, oh, fine. So we'll put her in school in the temporary area, and then we're gonna go do the new school district next year.
Yeah. I mean, a long saga for sure, and a pain in the butt. I imagine. Cool. I think.
Yeah, it works out.
Yeah. Sheldon, I talked to you last week, but
I don't know.
what's up?
More of the same.
Cool. I don't care. Pokemon Day. So,
Do you edit this?
define edit.
He looks at it before. Make sure make sure the subtitles are right and before it ships.
I've been thinking about getting rid of those because they're more of a pain than anything, and then I've definitely been letting it slip. And then the fun thing is the like 5 people who consistently watch us will know that like 2 or 3 weeks ago I was editing. I edited the podcast, and then there was just no sound. Like DaVinci exported it with like no sound after like 6 minutes in, and then I just missed it. So the project looked fine and everything. So like I really want to like minimize the amount of touching that I do to this podcast to not let that happen. I don't know what it was.
I've fully done that before.
Yeah,
I
that's
exported a whole thing. And it's like, oh, this people are saying that there's something wrong with this. Oh, the video is black. Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
That's weird.
You said you were gonna specifically the last time. I was like, hey, the thing happened, and then you're like, I'm gonna put a code for $1,000 Amazon gift card in the blackness somewhere, and you never did, and
that
you
does
did, and I
sound like
missed it.
something I would say.
Yeah.
Does sound like. Wouldn't that be amazing though? I upload a 40-minute battle video. It's me actually playing the game, right? And like I'm doing the commentary, you hear the music underneath it, but the screen's just black the whole time. But at 26:54 of the video, there's a gift card code that pops up for all of 2 seconds.
Not even.
You have to sit there and watch the whole thing.
You have to scrub through every single second.
2 or 3 frames at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't see it if you like scroll through it. with the slider. Yeah.
Certainly not enough time to pause. Not enough time to. Well, I mean, you have to like watch it through on what 0.25 speed.
You can move forward in frames in YouTube. I thought, is that not true?
You can move forward in seconds.
You can't do frames.
I don't think so.
I think if you do the angle brackets, it's frame.
Really? Okay, hold on. I'm about to try that right now. All right, angle brackets, huh? And then I pause it and angle brackets. Oh, nope, that just changes the speed.
Really? Wait, no, that it used to be. We're tangenting so hard. Hold on.
Yeah, nope, that's fine. We got to figure it out. Now I'm pressing every button on the keyboard just to figure this out. Oh, I went back. I found the back button.
That's fun. So for today's
you should get out of this before you.
No,
you have a chance.
100%.
He's
You're about
distracted.
to dead air
Go.
yourself.
No,
you're about
it's
to
angle
dead air
brackets.
yourself into needing to edit.
No, not. This is all going in the episode. Angle brackets are like the greater than less
Greater than
than.
less than, yeah.
Yeah, those are. I have to keep it on topic. Wolf's reaction to the presents. I'm going frame by frame.
Really? Wow,
Yeah.
that just increases.
Maybe
the
it's
speed for me.
like a Canada thing. You can't.
Maybe YouTube doesn't
your
think
Canada
Canadians believe in
keyboard.
frames.
I heard what Sheldon said. What did you say?
Said maybe YouTube doesn't think Canadians believe in frames.
And I'll say it backwards.
Can't.
Well, there you go.
Frames, Canada believe, YouTube doesn't.
You know what? I'm gonna take your word for it. That's amazing. Wow.
No.
How'd you do that?
Carefully. Okay, so Pokemon Presents started. It was a
been holding
20-minute
a ditto this whole
presentation.
time.
You have been holding ditto the whole
Yeah.
time. You were like tossing them in the air before. It happened, and it was super fun this morning to. I mean, for big events like this, you have your fun video game communities or Twitter/X/Blue Sky threads, whatever, and people are talking about the thing that's happening almost in real time, more or less. People are talking about it way after the fact, and we have our server on Discord where we were just kind of chatting about it. But it was super cool, and people are I think people are excited about this one. People always like to judge directs and presents of like Nintendo failed this one, or Pokemon could have done better, or whatever. And I think this was a pretty good one. I think this is going to go down in the books as a good one. I don't care about the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The things that we got were
but they got
great.
through them quick.
They got
Yeah.
through the things. Yeah, the
They got
mobile
through the
stuff.
like
We
the
need to.
yeah.
It
But
was
they have so
obligatory.
many like IPs now though, so there's so much for them to go through. But they like I feel like this usually like they'll have like a whole like 5 minutes on Pokemon Cafe.
Yeah.
And then like segments in between each one. This time it was just boom, here's the information, this is what's new, boom, on to the next one.
Here's the event going on. Here's whatever. Here's the dates, and then move. I like the short amount of time was so nice. The only thing that I didn't like about it was how excited I was to see Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire stuff, and then it was Masters EX.
Yeah.
I
was
got
so
really
mad.
excited when I saw the Groudon and Kyogre. I was like, what is this?
I looked at it and I said audibly by myself in the room, again?
If I wasn't at work sharing a cubicle with someone, I would have probably been like, "What the what the heck is this?"
Yeah. But again, like I like the fact that they are committing to the things that they're working on.
Yes.
For a little bit, it was like kind of shovelware that they were working on, right? You got your Magikarp Jump, which was fun. You got your Magikarp Jump again,
Which
released it twice. That was crazy.
Best game they came out with.
Yeah. Well, if they released it in like 2023, 2022, they might still be updating it to this day.
Yeah.
But like clearly they've become a company where they're like, all right, we made Pokemon Sleep. We're going to develop Pokemon Sleep. We made Pokemon Unite. We're going to develop Pokemon Unite. We made Master ZX. We're going to keep going, even though like maybe 20 people are playing it.
I really want to know who is playing Masters EX.
You'll never know because there isn't a competitive scene for it, and probably not very much of an online scene for it.
Is that the
Definitely
same?
people who just have it on their phone and play it every day.
And it's probably people too that have spent money on it. And, you got the sunk cost fallacy going on, so they just keep playing it and probably spend a little bit more money because that's how it keeps. Because they get new content pretty regularly on there too. So like
they do like new link pairs, whatever. What do you pay for in Masters EX?
I'm sure there's monetization. I remember that from when it first came out.
Yeah. They definitely take your money.
Just a gotcha game is what I mean.
Yeah, it's
because they got you can pull new stuff and also.
I just really need the gameplay to not be what it currently is. I've played Masters EX like a decent amount, not a decent amount, probably like I gave it the first day treatment, and then it didn't impress me. It didn't wow me. It didn't have like.
I didn't get through the first day of Masters EX. I downloaded it, I tried it, maybe even twice, and I was like, no, not for me.
Yeah,
right.
But people love gotcha games. They make money somehow. I don't know how. I don't know who's doing it, but they make money.
They try their best.
Yeah. So that's EX. Pogo has an Unova event. So Sheldon, you should be good for that.
Yep.
You're the captain of that place.
Do you play a lot of Pokemon Go?
I used to.
Okay.
Haven't lately.
That was a joke on Captain
This is one
Unova.
of those things that could maybe bring you back, huh?
No, probably not.
No.
Don't make me spit my cider. No.
You can maybe get a Black Urim or a White Urim. That's nice.
Yeah, raid events going on for those things, I guess.
Well, now it's a little more relevant, though. You know, you can use that for some of the things that you'll probably talk about later.
Yeah.
You're right. Maybe
gives people more of a reason to play Pokemon Go.
That is true. Having more connections as we get to having more connections between all their products is nice because, like you said, it leads to that.
As long as they all talk to each other, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm always welcome to more. More is always better. That's more access.
I'll accept that. I don't open sleep anymore, despite always wearing my smartwatch to bed. That tracks my sleep schedule, so it's actually trivial now, as unlike what it was before. Do y'all still play sleep at all?
Nope.
No, I stopped. Yeah, I stopped actually around the time that they
made it easier.
Well, with your smartwatch.
Yeah.
It's like I was so excited when it happened at the time, and then I was like, okay, well, there's no challenge to this anymore. I always wear it to bed. Half the time I don't even think of Pokemon Sleep. Now I don't even wear a smartwatch to bed. I have an activity band, and that's all.
You said no challenge, and that's very true. There's not really a challenge at all in sleep, I think.
Right. Well, there's no conscious effort to like setting up sleep.
There's literally subconscious effort in sleep, I suppose. But like because there's no effort to the game, it doesn't make me want to play it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not those kind of people, right? Like
there's people. Yeah, it's another niche filler.
Right. The people who love to collect things on their mobile apps and their.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
The game
These
also
are probably the same kind of people who are playing Masters EX.
That's true. Yeah. That's a fair point.
They exist. They're out there, and their profiles probably look baller, but. Not me.
They've got a bunch of shiny Pokemon that they woke up next to, I guess. I also the game runs at like a whopping, I mean it's stylistically a whopping 6 FPS. And
Sleep does? Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Like the style is like almost stop motion for those like 2D sprites, I guess. Yeah. And it's interesting. It feels clunky.
Yeah.
Feels very clunky to me. That's just my opinion.
Some people would say that's kind of cute.
Oh, I know. I think it's artistic. Cute, sure, but when it adds friction to the gameplay, you're losing something. I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
These are also the people who are playing Pokemon Cafe Remix.
Another game that exists, and has an
another
event.
Game that exists. What a very apt description for the things released or
it's
the
so
things.
true.
It's just the mobile apps, but. It's probably a good thing they have them though, just for the IP. Like I guess it's good to see them making stuff like we said earlier. They're updating it, make some money, so that means we get more stuff that we want.
Yeah. I mean that's true. Yeah, fun's a good thing.
Washes the other in some way.
Yeah.
Speaking of good things, do you still play Unite, Mike?
No.
That was a big no.
No. And you know what? Honestly, the Suicune, Alolan Raichu, and
Alchemy.
probably also won't push me back. But what might do it is that first to 500
So
mode.
Oh, the new match mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what's the normal way that? Because
It's
that's
10 minutes or something, is it?
Yeah.
is it
12?
just 10 minutes?
Yeah.
10 minutes, score as
They're-
many points as you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that the first 500 actually does mean something then.
Like
Right.
the game could be over quick.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because one of the biggest complaints I think about Pokemon Unite is that like the last 2 minutes
Is
are
everything.
the most important part of the game, and so it's like it's 8 minutes of filler and getting yourself up to the same point every game, and just watching is like the 4 other people that you play with sometimes get up to the standard that you want them to get at, or sometimes they don't, and then you lose a fight at Rayquaza or Zapdos or whatever, and then lose the game or win the game by doing
And it doesn't matter how far you are behind at that point either. It's like if you get the main objective, you're going to win the game.
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. So this one with first to 500, I mean, they haven't shown any of the inner details of it, but if it's just like, yeah, time isn't a factor here, just go about your game and try and get to 500 first, then it's like, okay, well, now I'm thinking less about how long the game is or what time at the game we're at, and more about like the game as a whole, as like, how do I get to a certain level? How do I get to a certain point? Oh no, my team is behind. Other team is starting to win. Where we've got to play more defensively, and one person has to go and score more goals. Like, there's a lot more. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a better like MOBA competitive side than what we currently have.
Yeah.
Because because the like you said that first like 8 minutes before that main objective, it's traditional MOBA. It's you farm. That's the main thing, is you farm. And yeah, it's fun to get kills and everything, but farming is the most important thing until that, and it just changes the game. All of a sudden it's like, I don't know, like Overwatch or something. It's a Royale game all of a sudden.
So I wonder how this game is going to, or this mode is going to like incorporate ranked, or if it's just going to be like another kind of mode that you have, because they've got
Like a quick play thing or something.
other kind of quick play games.
Yeah.
But maybe this one is their way of being like, okay, we're pushing this new thing. We think it might have legs, and if it does, then we'll just let it take over the whole game. It's like,
Sure.
Okay.
Just I mean,
But it's always good. I like seeing them try new things instead of just saying, "Yep, we made the game." Just
it's
we're
theirs
done.
to experiment with.
yeah, we're putting in more Pokemon. That's it. That's what. That's our modus operandi for the rest of.
We're gonna make the most broken thing possible because it's new, and we want you to spend money on the game, and then we're gonna nerf it into the ground.
I was gonna say they do balance patches, right? Like they
They
actually
do.
Yeah. Okay.
And they do a good job at that. Their balance patches are often like really fleshed out.
But things are not balanced when they get released.
Right.
That's a big problem with this.
Some say intentionally,
Yeah.
so that
So it
people
seems.
can really
It feels that way.
latch on. Yeah, there's some people who like still probably play Mewtwo because of how broken it was when it first came out.
I will relive my glory days.
Yeah.
They're also
dig
bringing
my
back
heels
Remote Stadium, which is, I guess, the first map there was. Yeah, okay. Which is probably cool if you've been playing the game more than I have.
That one I thought was a little unfortunate of them to say, but they backpedaled super quick, even in their script. They're like, yeah, we're bringing back Remote Stadium. And also we're working on a lot of other new stuff. So it's not like we're just tossing it back to the first 2 years of this game.
Yeah.
We're just reliving a classic at this point.
I see. Sure. Pocket? We all
Pocket.
still Pocket?
I've fallen off a little bit, but
I have completely fallen off, I'll be honest.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I collected a lot of. I want to say I'm missing like maybe 2 cards out of the entire first set,
Okay.
and that's what that game became to me. I was like, okay, well that one's a collector's game. I haven't really cared too much about the battle mechanic yet, mostly because there wasn't a like significant ranked system. Now that they've announced a ranked system,
Yes, you gonna come back?
okay, maybe I'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. Like I've been collecting things more than anything. I haven't really been battling.
Yeah, I still.
But a
open my
ranked
packs.
system makes it interesting.
You know what? I'm going to put not my money, but I'm going to put my actions where my mouth is. I'm going to open up Pocket, if I still have it on my phone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No, I got it.
Okay.
I'm going to open it up on my phone now for the first time this month.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. And you're going to count how many cards you're missing.
Sure. If that's what you want me to
I don't know.
I guess I can.
You could.
Additional data will be down. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta wait for this download.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
And,
I can't show you right now. I'm
how fast are
downloading
mobile
data.
networks in Canada?
Oh, it'll mess with the Riverside call. Like, it's
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow, that's terrifying, actually.
also it just finished downloading it.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Can you count your bits per second in gigs?
Can I count them?
Yeah, in gigs.
How do you mean?
Never mind. This joke did not land the way I wanted it to. Gigabit speed internet. That it was a.
What about it?
Do you? What? Never mind. This is.
Are you
I was-
asking me for my up down?
Yeah, that's what I was asking, but like in a funny way to go about the Riverside. Never mind. This is bad. This
That's
is a bad
okay.
joke. No,
That's
it's bad.
okay.
It's a bad, terrible
there was
joke.
there's a whole other set. Oh, I missed the entire set before this.
So you have not done any of tropical rainforest or whatever it is,
Mythical Island.
The Mew
Space
and-
Time
That's what I said.
Smackdown?
and Space Time Smackdown. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, neither of those.
Ah, yeah. No, you're behind. Then you gotta
Well,
Gotta-
you want me to open one right now? I'm going to open up Space Time Smackdown.
Oh.
open up Dialga and get a Dark
Open up
Eye,
Dialga. I'm going to choose this one.
and I'll be
I'm gonna
sad.
Open it up.
Wow,
Oh,
that's so
missed.
blown out.
It's. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
No, I mean, I
Turn on
think it's your-
brightness.
Oh, yeah, that
That
works.
probably helps.
There we go.
Okay.
It
does.
Well,
Look
just
at
flashing.
here.
Oh, fossil.
All right, a Skull Fossil, a Swinub,
Beautiful.
an Electabuzz,
Yep.
a
Whoa.
Dusclops, and a Regirock, or. I did
And every one of those was new, so I 100% believe you.
it. Yeah.
There's a new thing tomorrow, a whole new pack that you get to be behind on as well, Mike.
Yeah.
As well as, I guess if you can collect a pack from each of the first 3 genetic apexes. So Pikachu, Charizard, and
Mewtwo.
that's the one. And they're guaranteed a 4 diamond or higher rarity
Whoa.
card.
Oh, they're
Which is
just trying to
neat.
give you the rest of the stuff you're missing.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have events coming for Space Time Smackdown, and then Triumphant Light starts tomorrow. I guess today, hopefully, if I can
The Arceus
manage
set.
to release this out. On
See,
the
but
right
that's kind of quick then, isn't it? Or
I
maybe this
kinda
is just
thought
me
so.
having missed a set, but like,
No, I feel like
they've been pumping them out.
yeah. Well,
Especially for like a card game, like
But Triumphant Smackdown is also and not Triumphant Light is the third or
Expansion.
like the single expansion to Space Time Smackdown in the same way that Mythical Island was to Genetic Apex, right? It's like 2A or 2B or something, right?
because like, keep in mind this
I
game has
guess.
been out for 4 months.
Yeah.
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 and we've had 4
4.
packs.
Yeah.
4 different packs.
Yeah. But 2 of them are like half packs,
Well, four. I mean, it's 4 sets because they had
Yeah.
their own.
set number or
pool.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess they can slow down later once more.
Yeah, that's
cards
just
are
a
out.
lot to me, like for a card game. Because usually, like, you think a card game, like you get a new set every 6 months, maybe every 3 or 4 months, but like that's one set.
yeah.
Now the sets are smaller than normal card games, like
right,
And
But-
they give them out literally for free.
yeah,
and the card games are a lot quicker. So I guess
Yeah.
you're playing
Yeah.
more per day.
and
than the
and
regular
it being a digital game, it's a lot easier just to put them out there. If you made them
Yeah.
or whatever, if you've like made the set in advance, like all you gotta do is code it in there and it's good to go.
No distribution process.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That was a way less exciting topic than I thought it
I
was going to be.
hadn't looked this up,
yeah,
but Pokemon trading card game.
Yes.
Yes.
were megas in the game before?
I don't think so. No, that's new.
Is this the first time that megas
I think.
Wait, it is?
Or okay,
way.
I don't know TCG, and literally the only bullet I have, which is next on the list. Thank you, Mike, for that great segue. Is TCG, and that megas, which are EX cards, are coming sometime this year. And I guess that's the first time, because I don't remember ever seeing it before or knowing how that mechanic works. And I am definitely an expert on Pokemon TCG.
Absolutely. I'm seeing
I
this.
see it's returning.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, I
as
thought
well.
I was pretty sure they had megas before.
Yes, I'm looking at an old
Yeah.
Mega Charizard.
Yeah, Mega
EX
Mewtwo, a Mega
yeah.
Gardevoir EX.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Cool.
They had something called a Mega Evolution rule, where when one of your Pokemon becomes a Mega Evolution Pokemon, your turn ends. So that's something.
Oh yeah, they were introduced in the XY expansion.
I guess that was the mechanic around
Yeah.
Mega Evolution is like, yeah, you can Mega Evolve, but your turn's done. Versus like how it works with any other Pokemon. It's like if you evolve your Charmeleon into a Charizard and you have enough energy for Charizard to attack, you can still attack.
Right.
Yeah.
If you evolve it into Mega Charizard, you can't do anything that turn.
And
You
it's still
lose your
EX
attack.
and you lose 3 prizes if it gets knocked out.
It's 3.
TCG, I think it's 3.
I think-
the
I think
megas
it's
are 3,
3.
I think.
I do think they've changed that
Maybe.
I
into
thought that's what it
3.
said on the.
I'm looking at old cards right now, and so for Mega Charizard, it had the Mega Evolution rule, turn
Yeah,
ends.
three-
But then
three
for the
prizes.
Pokemon EX rule, right?
Mega Evolution. Yeah.
Yep. Pokemon EX rule. When EX Pokemon's been knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So
Oh,
for the
good grief.
old ones, it was like that. Now it looks like Mega Lucario and like the new stuff doesn't have the Mega Evolution rule, if I'm reading the card right. So it looks like you can just evolve right into it,
Yeah.
but it costs 3
three
prize
cards.
if
Yeah.
if they get knocked out. But also
It is crazy strong, though.
totally.
Worth it.
I'm looking at it. Are you looking at the Mega Lucario card?
Yeah.
It evolves from Riolu, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. So you go straight
Oh,
from
that's cool.
stage 1 to a Mega.
You go straight from basic to stage 1.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's how that works normally, is basic to stage 1.
But it's right. But it's not how
normally
that
you would
works.
have
Mega,
to.
yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's like crazy strong.
So
I feel like.
they've sped up the game, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think that speeds things up quite.
I think
It
it
has
would
to,
if you
yeah.
can throw out something so strong. Yeah.
Something, and then that's also worth 3 prizes. Like,
So Mega Gardevoir EX. And here's me talking as a person who very, very loosely has played TCG.
Yeah.
Barely even, some might say.
I agree.
Evolves from a Curlia into a Mega
Yes.
Gardevoir EX.
yes.
Has 2 attacks that cost 1 psychic energy. Both of them cost 1 psychic energy.
Yep.
Oh,
I can't see like a good quality version of the Gardevoir card.
So, all right. So it's first
there
attack.
it is.
Overflowing wishes for each of your bench Pokemon. Search your deck for a basic psychic energy and attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck.
Okay.
So you can put an energy and then its actual damaging attack, Mega Symphonia. This attack does 50 damage for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon.
So you're doing that on turn 3.
3.
Turn 1, you're putting down a Ralts. You put a psychic energy on one of your benched Pokemon. Turn 2, you evolve it into a Curlia. Maybe you put a psychic energy on your Curlia just to have fun. And then turn 3, you're Mega Gardevoir EX, and you put another psychic energy on another Pokemon. You're doing 150 damage to something
turn
on
3.
turn 3.
With something that's got 360 HP too.
wow.
You are speeding up this.
You're pulling out, 4 energy out of your deck,
Right.
which is 200 damage.
That's
I
incredible.
mean, that's
So yeah,
worth
it's so
3
turn
prizes.
4 you could be doing 350 damage on turn 4. 350 what? How many bench Pokemon do you have? Is it 4? TCG 4 or 5?
I think it's 5.
Oh, 5. So even more than like you can.
Right.
Mega Lucario is even more busted.
Yeah.
You have Riolu out on turn 1. You put down 1 fighting energy. You evolve it next turn into Mega Lucario EX, and you do 130 damage?
And grab 3 basic fighting energies out of your deck and put on your bench.
That's... what?
What?
Turn 2, you're doing 270 damage.
What?
Hey, you can only use Mega Brave once every other turn, though.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
And
at
then,
least there's that.
so you're doing that, and then you're just ramping on the on the off turns while doing 130 damage still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
fine. You can probably tank a hit. You have 340 HP. That's...
Oh, and
Yeah,
then
that's
there's
absurd.
and then there's that premium pro trainer card they show that adds 30 damage to your fighting Pokemon on their turn.
Nice.
oh. So
They
you
just
can
just
do
gave
300
Pokemon
damage.
some way, and then
Yeah.
it punches better.
That's all it is. It's just protein powder.
Yeah.
That's what the pro is in Power
Right.
Pro. It's protein.
They ran out of characters. They alligated
They for alligator
It's
themselves, yes.
Premium powder, protein powder. Yeah. Premium power, protein powder.
Yes, the quadruple P. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, this is super fun. This 100% does not make me want to jump into TCG.
So what is the Charizard going to do though? Because we know Charizard is going to be the chase card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them, because there's 2.
Yeah, it's going to breathe.
It's going to like
Breathe fire
actual
for, like,
set
2
your opponent
fire
on
energy.
fire, or
Yeah.
like it sets their deck on fire, like something.
You will need to bring your own fire extinguisher to regionals, so keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your local GFS will not. That's not what this stands for. Local game store (LGS) will not supply fire retardant.
There will be
video
a
games.
weight discrepancy between the booster packs because the Mega Charizard one does come with a lighter.
Yes, you can tell where it is.
Yeah.
Did you know that that's an actual thing though? That
Yeah. My favorite.
Some packs.
Did
weigh
you
differently?
see? Because of the hollows or whatever, the printing. Did you see people were like joking on that for TCG Pocket? They were like switching through the things, like putting their phone
Yeah.
on a scale.
People. Well, I saw people like trying to
Memeing
like
on it.
turn them and stuff too, acting like it was.
Yeah, it was,
They had
I was one of
tails.
those people. I was like, oh, there's definitely.
They
gotta be
they did a good job though, because they did put. It's
The
not all
corner
just the
means
same.
something.
Like it's
Corner
procedurally.
Yeah.
You know, it's procedurally generated into there, and like some corners will be bent on some. Like it's.
Right. You wouldn't have 10 packs floating around in a circle if it didn't mean anything.
absolutely.
They wouldn't have done this for no reason. And
Fidget
don't-
spinners don't exist or anything for people to.
no.
This is a digital fidget spinner.
Oh my
Oh, you just broke my brain.
They added a fidget spinner functionality to my app.
You can get a Rotom case in Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, finally. You know what I've always been saying?
I wish my phone looked more like a book.
my phone looks nice, but I wish it was different.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, the way I'd have it in my notes here for it is RGB colored Pokemon coming to raids or outbreaks. Sorry, which is
Yes.
true but very funny.
Yeah.
They're just being cute with the game.
Sure.
Scarlet and Violet is there and continue
is.
to do things. Can we talk about champions? Let's talk about champions. I want to talk about champions.
I want to touch one thing too before we go. That
No.
concierge, super cute.
Yes, I haven't seen any
I
of
love
it.
the stop. The stop. I haven't watched it. That's the
stop
first time
motion?
I've like noticed it. The stop motion and the little girl. Y'all are old enough to have watched Kablam growing up, right?
Yeah.
All right, Life of Loopy from Kablam. That is that little girl.
Hold on. Life with Loopy. And
Yeah.
yes. No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, I'm with you.
That was my first thought because it's also the stop animation style. I was like, man, that's Life
Kinda.
of Loopy.
Yeah. Boy, I haven't
Very
thought
good.
about
I
this
love
in way too
the I
long.
love the test images they were showing. It's
Yeah.
cool to just kind of like see as the sausage.
Oh yeah,
is
that
being
was
made.
actually cool because
With
you
the
never really
harness.
see how like you do stop animation. 'Cause that's something that's always well. It has to be the most tedious
Oh, it is.
process.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. I don't have the the patience for that. As something else I don't have the patience for is waiting for champions to exist.
Yes.
All right.
I want that so bad. So Champions, their new Switch family of systems and mobile game that'll be out sometime. That is basically Showdown. It seems Battle Revolution Stadium
Pretty
Showdown. It's
Pretty Showdown. But it's also how I want VGC to look.
Okay, so their whole thing, like they're strewn throughout their like 90 seconds of showing that game. It's like it has the classic like effects added, like not real game footage or whatever they say on the bottom.
Right.
But like, so I do wonder.
You're saying you don't actually teleport inside the game?
If you faint in the game, you faint in real life.
Naturally.
No, that'd be really cool. However, even the stuff that they showed on the phones looked like it could have been like green screened in a little bit and like.
Oh yeah, the phone definitely was not like rendered on a phone.
Yeah, so I am curious if it's gonna like look that good. I hope it does. Don't get me wrong.
So I think so. Some of the things I think were like not game engine, like kind of cinema, like when the Charizard and Dondozo at the end like hit each other, the fire and water hit each other. But
obviously,
some of it feels like it actually would be. So like what they have on their website, it's the shots of the like battlefield. That looks like game footage to me.
Right.
Let's
Like
see.
that looks like in-engine game footage.
Looking at it now. Okay, actually, yeah, I can. Okay.
And it looks better than Scarlet and Violet. The stadium's
hard.
amazing.
The stadium is like not quite, but it to me is like reminiscent of Sword and Shield.
Which was the best
Stadium design.
yes. VGC battle setup they've had ever.
I agree.
The stadium, the crowd, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, people chanting. It was fun. I'm excited for it.
Like, I don't need grandma on the side sitting there like on each corner, raising the roof over there, whatever she's doing.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike? You run a whole YouTube channel based on the esports of Pokemon. Is this the future of the esports of Pokemon?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to take the game out of their circuit. They're trying to say, okay, this is no longer people who play our mainstay series of games, TCG, Go, Pokken back in the day. They're Scarlet and Violet has kind of always been the redhead stepchild of all of that series of games. Now they can be like, this is one that is dedicated for our circuit. We're going to play Worlds off of this. We're going to play thing off of this, and everybody can play it just as much as everybody can play TCG, just as much as everybody can play Go, just as much as everybody can play all of the other stuff that's there. Because that was the biggest complaint, is like there is a monetary aspect of like building a TCG deck, but there was a like hard $60 plus buy-in for Scarlet and Violet, and then a 60-hour buy-in for
I was gonna say,
the end game.
How many YouTube videos, podcasts, groups of friends, kids on the playground have complained that like, I want to go play VGC at a regional, but I have to spend $60 and then 60 hours to get maybe to the point of being able to build a team, have the resources and the know-how to do that, and all of that $60 and 60 hours is not teaching you how to play VGC. Right?
You spend $60 on a TCG deck, you can buy yourself a deck that is ready to go right then. You can just go into competitive play. With Pokemon, you go and buy the game. Okay, you got to play through the entire thing, and then at the end they'll show you what doubles is. And then you can start to learn.
Yes.
This is absolutely
because you can't even like, even if you were able to get the Pokemon and all you needed, like get them earlier in the game, You can't check the EVs or any of that until you actually beat the whole game. They lock so much of the competitive side behind the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's not an option just to pick it up and play it.
Right.
And it was a problem that a lot of people had during Sword and Shield. I mean, this has been a problem since time immemorial. But I think the problem was really highlighted during Sword and Shield. And then when Scarlet and Violet came out, everyone was like kind of excited for what was going to happen. And then they didn't get anything for it. And they're like, okay, well.
Yeah.
This is something, though, they should have done a long time ago.
Sure.
They should have done this. This should have been paired with Sword and Shield on the Switch. Like,
I mean, you can say that they should have done this with any of the past generations, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
They are consistently almost a decade behind.
Yes.
Like the market with each game.
And go on.
There is a lot more to work with now. I think now they're hitting the right mark at the right time, even though, yes, they could have done it before, but now they were hitting it at a time where we've got Terra. And Terra was a great mechanic, and clearly they're holding on to that. They're keeping that in the game. They're looking at Megas, and they're like, perfect, yeah, Megas, it's relevant because we've got ZA coming out, but it's a format that we can just keep in here. They didn't show anything about Dynamax, and honestly, I'm kind of glad about that.
So
give me Dynamax.
No. I think so. So they're obviously they thought about it, and they only showed Terra and Mega, and there could only be, at least at the start, Terra and Mega. But it's the best mechanic, which is Terra, and the most popular mechanic, which is Megas, right? Like, people who aren't into VGC, and even people who are, think that Megas looks coolest, like is the most exciting like version of this gimmick.
Yeah.
And only because we have a stronger or an existing background in VGC, we think that Terra is the best because it's the most balanced. Any Pokemon can do it. It's the most strategic, yada yada yada. Even though it caused some issues with like team sheets and whatnot, but overall it's probably the best mechanic. So you bring those two into the game because they're gonna attract the whole audience, right?
Yeah.
People who are casual about it, people who are interested in it, and of course it's relevant because it's the most recent mechanic, and ZA has Megas.
Sure. And the thing about all of these gimmicks is like none of them affect the core Pokemon very much, so they could just rotate out the gimmicks later on.
Yes.
They can very well bring in Dynamax. They could very
experiment.
well bring in anything.
Yeah.
They can experiment, exactly. They can go through seasons of like, hey, this is the Dynamax season. This is
you
the
don't
Mega
need
season.
you don't need to release an entire new game to experiment with the competitive scene that way.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's also more prevalent in Scarlet and Violet than any of the other games, that I feel like having the competitive battling and all in the game just put too much strain on the development cycle. Mm-hmm. Like on the team.
For sure.
Because Scarlet and Violet is the worst one when it comes to connectivity, everything. Like, we took such a massive step back from Sword and Shield, because Sword and Shield, everything seemed like it worked. Everything's a little bit easier.
It worked as intended.
Yeah. And we just took a massive step back in Scarlet and Violet. And I think just them going open world and all the new stuff that they added to the actual playing the game and making the game they wanted to make, there's just a lot that needed polishing that never got it out the door.
Yeah, I'm excited for Switch 2, and so I can play Scarlet with a solid 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Yes.
See what they like wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
Now they're not beholden to a like forced innovation almost.
Yes.
Like they don't need to create a new game in order to refresh the competitive cycle. Now they can like keep the competitive cycle separate, take your time, make your games, make them good, and just toss them up on home when you're done, and then balance competitive once they're up on that.
Yeah.
Because then, I mean, you have a whole separate team then that's not working on any other game. Like they they have a chance. You can put together a really good competitive team. I think I said in our chat, like they could bring in some of the pros, like not like I'm sure like a guy like Wolfie isn't done yet, but you can do like bring him in to work on balancing,
consultant type thing.
Yeah, because like other games, Magic the Gathering's been doing that for a while now, and it was big to help the competitive scene, help the balancing out the door, that you weren't like, oh no, we need to ban everything because we didn't realize how strong this would have been in the pros' hands.
Right.
Make a test realm.
Yeah.
They can do a lot. And the thing that I'm a little concerned about is how are they going to make money on this? Speaking of doing the most of the same.
That's my only fear, is how greedy they could get in this day and age with how aggressive monetization can be.
Okay. What do you think they will and won't monetize?
What I hope they monetize is some strictly cosmetic thing.
Sure.
You can get some cool outfits for your trainer. They showed models and whatever of the trainers, and they have a very sword and shield, the sport of Pokemon battling outfits, right? But they can go wild with that. You can have a gotcha mechanic or a battle pass or something for cool outfits.
Yes.
But as soon as you make me pay to play Charizard, I'll be a little upset.
I don't think that will happen. I hold out an immense amount of hope that they're going to spend most of their time monetizing everything outside of the core battle mechanic.
Yes.
I want this to just, I want this to, but I believe that it's going to be just a thing that connects with home, or a thing that you play with and you use your time to, I don't know, maybe there'll be a gotcha mechanic. Maybe you'll be able to get certain Pokemon. I firmly think that a good way to go about it is just, you gain access to certain Pokemon as you go. And that you connect to home so that you can use a Gardevoir, a Charizard, a Lucario, because you have them in your Pokemon home box. Or you can roll the gotcha machine and like, boop, out pops a Gardevoir. It's like, now I can use that.
So my curiosity for that though is if you take them at face value and they want to bring battling to everyone, right? Then it becomes very difficult to meet that goal, but keep specific Pokemon behind some sort of paywall or some sort of time gate or a gotcha mechanic or something like that. It's not like like League of Legends or whatever, where you have to pay for a champion, right? I hope I don't have to, like, even if it's like 50 cents, I don't want to unlock Charizard, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why they give so many other ways for you to get those Pokemon, right?
So that's the thing.
I get it through your games.
I am curious, depending on, again, what they do for the base game of Champions, I am very curious about what they're going to do with home, right? Is that where you can bring in a fully like EV, IV trained Gardevoir and then you can unlock that? How do you do EV and IV stuff in Champions itself?
Yeah, that's my biggest fear. That is definitely mine.
Yeah, they have such a good idea with this. I mean, make official showdown. Not that hard.
Yeah.
So I hope that they don't fumble this, because they totally could.
It doesn't give and this is something that I mentioned earlier today, is that like with the way that EVs and IVs work, like has to be completely rethought with Pokemon Champions, because it does give a very, very, very unfair leg up to the people who brought in their competitive team from like Scarlet and Violet.
Right.
And
yes.
Not only is the people from the competitive team from Scarlet and Violet, but people who were not competitive in Scarlet and Violet, they upload their stuff. They bring their non-EV, non-IV Pokemon over to Pokemon Champions. And they're just these average Pokemon that like
going on the casual ladder.
Right, exactly. Going on the casual ladder. And Go like completely randomizes that whole process.
Yeah.
Like even when
you don't even get EVs, it's just the IVs. Like, so like, you're way behind. So that's like leads into like my biggest fear of how they'll do it. They will give us an editor, like a EV/IV showdown editor, but the use of that will be
restricted.
either restricted. It's going to be a
time gate or a resource gate.
It'll be time gate because that's most of the Pokemon. Like their other games are all time gated, and so you're going to have like a gauge. You can do so many EVs and IVs, and then it runs out, and you got to wait a day before you can do more, or you could pay now and fill it up and do it again. That's my biggest worry is it's going to be like one of those, and it's going to be a real frustrating amount of time. Like it'll be enough to do like 1.5 Pokemon for like a day or two.
There are so many ways that they could work this up, really.
Yes. And I think that would just drive some people crazy if you're like, man, I just want to play my team, but I got a EV3 Pokemon. Well, if I do that, I can only do one of them. Now I have to pay.
The flip side of this is if they just randomize all the stats, then it's entirely uncompetitive because you can't control what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You lose a lot of control.
Or they go like Pokemon Stadium and just max them all out. Like,
which is, I mean, yeah, if it's all equal, then that's like that is the best of the worst options.
It's basically just doing away with it.
Yeah.
At that point.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you max it out, you might as well
not have it. You just have base stats, right? Like,
but
I
also
think,
like it does kind of change the way that some people play, and
it
I'm
definitely
sure that's
would.
fine. But it's like there are some people who are very used to playing Trick Room and zero IVing all of their speed.
Yeah.
the customization and control is very important there. I think if they have to do any of these less than showdown methods, I hope it's what you said, and Mike, and it's like they just completely change that system.
I just want them to simplify it. All right. Maybe don't make it 0 to 31. Maybe make it strong, neutral, and weak for each of those stats. I want a Pokemon with strong attack, and I want a Pokemon with weak special attack. And because I want my Pokemon slow, I want that Pokemon with weak speed. Everything else, make it strong, go for it. I think that's.
I mean, you could even lower than that. It could be. I mean, it's you either want a 0 or a 1. You know, basically for the stats, like the 0 to 31, like 30 of those numbers don't matter.
Right.
For the most part, yeah.
More often than not, they don't actually matter. And then when it comes to EVs, that one, you know what? Give me a slider.
Yeah, so EVs, the EVs are fun, and they could keep EVs, I think, because that does give a nuance that is kind of unique to Pokemon, and it's a big part of it, you know, and that's the thing that's like, oh, if you find the perfect EV spread, it feels so good.
Right.
Kind of thing.
If you don't have that limitation that EVs has, I can just go and say, oh, well, I want to play Trick Room. I'm going to max out every stat except speed.
Yeah.
I have the bulkiest Pokemon, but also my opponent has just maxed out everything, right? So you can't have that necessarily. So I do hope they keep some flavor of EVs
we need
and IVs.
some kind of customization, you know, in the stats.
Yeah.
Random battles. Toss in some random battles.
So good.
Yes.
Would be great. And again, with the things that they can monetize, right? There's plenty. You can do the entire arena.
Yeah,
you can
stadiums,
do ball effects. You can do your trainer's customization.
You could do music.
And one thing I said is, if you make Pokemon skins for this, the economy's over. Oops.
Yes.
Pokemon with hats.
Well, look at Unite. I mean, Unite makes a ton of money off of skins. Every free, if it's going to be a free to play game, that's the biggest thing. Skins,
you do
customization,
not need to profit,
and you get two of them. Like you could skin the Pokemon and you can skin your trainer. You know, so like they have a double whammy.
We should not be promoting skinning Pokemon or
that's
trainers.
Tragic.
You
can though.
You can. Yeah, and Pokemon will like the money for that process. So what if it's not a free game?
I don't see it not
kind of
being
like
a free
that.
game.
It's what?
I don't see it not being a free game.
Yeah, it's true.
They're releasing it on Android.
Mobile. Yeah. I personally, like, part of me would. It depends on, like, again, the monetization. If they're going to be predatory, I'd rather just pay $60 and have it and not have to deal with microtransactions.
Yeah.
So that's just the one thing I would want to avoid. So even if it's a subscription service, I would prefer that over microtransactions.
If it's a cheap app under $10, or if it is a cheap subscription and we get just choices, new stuff every month, a free or included battle pass or something, I'm in.
Yeah, you give me a pretty showdown I can play on my phone or on my Switch. Like
that runs good.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm
Who
excited.
is the Pokemon Works?
New. I think it's a brand new company, right? So Game Freak is designing it
Joint
and
venture
whatever.
by Pokemon Company and Ilka. Okay.
And Ilka. Okay.
Yeah.
They're the ones that did
Ilka's
the
doing
Diamond and Pearl.
Which one? Champions?
Ilka's working on Champions.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
They
But also Game Freak. It's Game
they were
Freak,
working on
Ilka,
something
and the
else.
Pokemon Company.
Yes.
And I find it interesting that they don't outright say Ilka, and maybe that's because of the fact that they did BDSP. But
Possibly.
Yeah.
still,
I think this is the first time we've heard of them, though. Is that correct?
it says it was established last year, but I'm pretty sure they also did Sleep, and they worked with them.
Oh, they did sleep. I thought DNA did sleep, but maybe that's not true.
At this point, it's all people working together. They all
Yeah, that's very true.
It's just names and credits.
Just wait until we see Tencent on there.
Yeah, man, you go high enough, eventually you will.
Yes.
The interesting thing about Champions that I also wanted to say, this all kind of goes back to the League of Legends. I guess the business model, right? Pokemon made Pokemon Unite to compete in a way with League of Legends. Obviously, you're not going to compete and take over market share of League of Legends, but
Correct,
you're going to
yes.
make a game that's
It's a
at least
MOBA.
like
They
it.
made them same genre.
Pokemon saw that and was like, oh, you know what? We could have just done this with the thing that Pokemon are known for. Like, let's take competitive battling out of like the VGC players equation. Pokemon itself has been known as the brand where, you know, the little monsters fight each other with named attacks. And they were like, oh, we can make a mobile game. Why didn't we do this years ago? And that's
Great
what we're
question,
all
Pokemon.
saying.
Yeah.
But like now they're looking at it and they're like, oh, we can just make a game that is Pokemon on your phone.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's Pokemon Champions.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
They got hit with
exactly
like a doy.
I feel like they've gotten like new people in, like
New management?
probably some like
think
in the
tank
like
people.
because
Nerd
like some of the
Deloitte.
ideas they've kind of been having coming is different for them, but in a good way.
Yeah, they had the nerdiest consultants come in. Half the country is like, you should lay off half your staff, and the other half is like, hey, I got an idea for Pokemon.
Yes, that's exactly right. I will also say that the Champions part of this video started with I did really like the little intro video of like all the people playing different Pokemon battles through the generations.
Yes.
And I also appreciated how if you go back and watch it, it's like 30 seconds long. But go and just count how many times. Oh, you can totally like screen peek someone you're sitting next to and see what they're gonna choose for a move or whatever. You're like two kids like shoulder to shoulder
sure,
playing.
Yeah.
I was like, huh, that's really funny. That's where my brain went. So take that, whatever that means.
Well, yeah, there were two kinds of people in each one of those little cutaways. There was the one person who was screen looking, and then there was the other one who was always sweating. And that's how they
Yes.
did their transition, is with that
Yes.
giant bead of sweat. So you got the sweat lord and the cheater.
Yes, correct. And now you have the dichotomy of VGC.
Yeah.
Very apropos.
Yes, they know their audience. They had a whole section in the presents talking about languages. They introduced it talking about languages, and it was all Latin American Spanish, which is cool because I didn't realize until they had a like 2-minute section in a presents that it was so underserviced.
Yeah.
Famously underserviced. Absolutely.
Well, I knew the area was. Don't get me wrong. But the
that whole
language.
But that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So-
just like didn't acknowledge it existed for 30 years.
Now it's specifically Latin American English. Do they have like little Latin American Spanish? Do they have Spanish? Spanish? Just proper Spanish? I thought you
couldn't
could.
tell you.
I thought
I
you
think
could.
they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
So it is specifically the Latin American like
Yes.
dialects of Spanish, which is
Yes.
great, right? Because there's always been like 2 versions of Chinese or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know if they do UK and American English or whatever, but that's silly. If they
I
do.
believe also Pokemon Go kind of got ahead of this and incorporated that last year around
Okay,
May.
cool. Yeah,
They started servicing Latin America more over there.
sweet.
With Spanish language support, and then the rest of the company just kind of followed suit.
Yeah. It was also very, I enjoyed this for 2 reasons. It was in Spanish and not in Spanish, but voice-overed
Sure,
in English,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That's
and
true.
then-
They did full on the Spanish audio but English subtitle.
Yeah. And then I could understand some of it. Not a whole lot, though. It was fun. I was like, oh, wait, you're speaking a different language now. I wasn't looking at my screen at the time. And I was like, huh, okay, cool. Very
I'm
neat.
trying to think of how the broadcast works for that. I guess it's fine.
We've now
but,
entered Mike's domain.
Well, they have different like Pokemon channels too, so each one could do their own subtitles.
Yeah, but essentially the way that works is like there's a primary stream and then a bunch of backups, right? So you've got your English backup, you've got your, I guess, Spanish backup, you've got just the Japanese, which is just a full pass through of the main. But for the English one, they had to send the video, but then in the middle you toss in the audio of the English speaker.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Now you also have to change your subtitles. So not only are you changing the audio, you're changing the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Anyway, that's my little nerd moment.
This is
They did
Mike's
a little
being
bit
a
extra
nerd.
for this broadcast. That's kind of cool.
It is cool. And then last and certainly not least is Pokemon Legends ZA. ZA, we saw a whole bunch of stuff there, which was cool. It's I was going to say the most, but really the only bits of detail we've seen that game.
Right.
Pretty much, other than the like
A
original
wireframe a year ago. I think we've heard nothing for a year.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's in Lumios, which is in the Kalos region. It's Prison Towers in the middle. They got the high-tech urban development.
This is after all the events of the game, right?
I think it's in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the future.
We're in the future now. We saw a bunch of people. We saw the battles. What do y'all think?
I think they're doing the most average. And you know what? That's okay. And that's okay because the only thing I wanted was Pokemon Champions. And now that I have that, me and the rest of the competitive scene don't care about anything else. And we can just enjoy things for the things that they are now.
Yes, that's so true.
I don't, it's fine. Like, what are they doing?
I'll
They're giving us
I'll play it.
easy.
Like it's like one of those kind of things like I'll play.
Yeah.
But that's how PLA was to me too. Like,
Yeah.
I played it, but like I've never wanted to go back and play. Like I never had the want to replay the game.
I'm going to enjoy it for a week and then I'm not going to pick it up again. And
Yeah.
I know that about myself. And
Yes.
that's fine. I don't need it to be anything else because now I need Champions to be everything.
That's very
yeah.
true. That is the for our sector of people playing games, that is the healthiest way to look at Pokemon
Right.
games.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier about like this is kind of the way that Pokemon is transitioning and like going into games like these, like the
Yeah.
open world kind of thing. I think if they continue making Legends games, then great. I will continue to play them. If they keep making the mainline games, I think they probably will. You know,
Yeah.
waves and winds and all the stuff that people thought was going to be released today or revealed today.
Gen 10.
It's your turn. Keep doing that too. It's totally fine. I'm happy with that. I do not see it as competitive anymore, and I don't need to.
Yes.
No, it's very true.
And that's good for like just looking at the game too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes that just takes a little bit out of it if you're thinking about that while you're playing the game.
We
Imagine
get
playing
to-
Sword and Shield and enjoying the story.
Yeah.
You mean the story that happened entirely off screen?
What happened?
Nothing. Actually, literally every important story beat happens off screen.
Yeah,
to
the
you-
champion,
to
the
player.
actual champion takes care of it
Yes.
like they should.
Oh, that's right.
And
It's
don't
that-
leave it to a 10-year-old
it was one of my favorite like details of that of Gen 8 was that like the whole story happened. You never saw it until the end. It was hilarious to me.
That is cool.
But yeah, no, it's very good. The way you said it is correct. You get to play the games and meet them where they are, not for what you want them to be for the competitive scene, which is such a burden off of how we're going to be looking at every Pokemon game after Champions comes out. Champions has to come out first, and it says in development, which could mean anything.
Yeah, but I have a hope that it should be a quick development time for that type of game compared to...
They just have to steal Showdown.
Yeah.
They've got it all there.
They could literally, like, at first, their first, patch 1.0 is just Showdown. Like, same graphics, same
They won't do that.
UI.
They showed, they showed pretty things.
They could roll that out to me and be like, okay, here's my money, please, thanks. Like, give me an official, good, just working battle simulator. That's all I need.
I feel like I am allowed to enjoy Pokemon again. And
that's a good feeling.
A wildly fun feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I didn't think about it as much until literally the last 5 minutes, and talking about it now. But like, yeah. I mean, it's one thing for y'all, right? Because you have made a phenomenal side hustle out of Pokemon for the last too many years. Yeah. So it has almost been work for you, right? But now that's all Champions.
Yeah,
actually,
I get to enjoy that game from a competitive standpoint, and then when those games come out, I get to take my time with them. Yeah. I don't have to rush through. I don't have to worry about can I get this game 12 hours early so that I can finish it by the time launch happens, so that I can
how do I pretend I'm in Australia right now?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't need to do any of that anymore.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh man. Now the other thing too, I'm very excited to figure out how to emulate an Android phone on my computer so I can use OBS to capture it very easily and then also play Pokemon on my computer.
Oh, I can show you how to do that easy.
I mean, I also know how to do it. Like that's the setup people are gonna do for this, right?
Pop up BlueStacks, it's easy peasy.
It is easy peasy. But that's
also
gonna be
get
fun.
A capture card, it's fine.
Or switching. I have a Switch and a capture card, yes, but also it doesn't have to run on a Switch. I can run. I just realized I can play competitive Pokemon kind of off of my 3080 Ti and then my graphics card, and it's gonna run buttery smooth.
Totally. Yeah.
I guess
that's all Pokemon's ever needed. See, like, and I was saying this before, like, why won't they just put their games on PC?
Because Nintendo.
Yeah, I know, but they should. Yeah. Like, it'd be so good. Like, how well would that do on the Steam store? Like, it'd be insane.
Pokemon on the Steam Deck would be amazing.
I mean, I'd be playing Unite this moment.
If it was
during this podcast, if it were.
That's one thing I've kept saying about it. MOBAs, I don't like a controller with a MOBA.
No.
Yeah.
So like even on like mobile, like it's good. They got a mobile side and everything, but it's like Wild Rift. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Like, if you ever played the League of Legends Wild Rift, I don't like the control setup. I don't like how it feels.
It's
I
playable,
want the click,
but it's not better than the PC experience.
Yeah,
it's not.
I want to press QWER and use my mouse. Like,
I want to clickety clack. I want to clickety clack for an hour, or 10 minutes, or 30 minutes, or however long I'm playing,
or 12 hours, or
I don't want to tappity tap and have my phone get hot.
Yeah, that's very true. Or get a phone call.
Or get a phone call, right? Exactly.
Right, like something you have to like worry about in the moment. But yeah,
you lose signal for a second. It just crashes everything.
It is a very circular argument that I have with people who are very into the mobile version of it, because they're like, oh yeah, just get like one of those phone controllers, and I'm like, well, then I'm using a controller again, and I don't want to use a controller. Like, that was the first thing I said.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we spent all of the ZA time talking about Champions again, so I guess that's how we feel about that game.
Hey man, AZ is in this game, and I think that's really cool. I think he was one of the coolest characters that Pokemon's ever developed.
I agree. I was so excited to see him and for it. Yes. Again.
I would love to see like more of like just a design document notes for like.
That was the first trailer, actually. It was all design document. You just saw the wireframe.
Well, I'm talking about going back to original X and
sure.
Y. Like, just I want to see the design documents where they go with the story, because that story is wild.
It is one of the more
far as, like,
wild stories. Yeah.
Like with that whole AZ thing too, is one of the craziest characters who feels like he should be way more important in the story.
There was a war. There was a nuclear explosion.
Giant
There
laser
was,
cannon.
That just wasn't a
corruption in
nuclear
politics.
Yeah, it just wasn't like a nuclear explosion. It like split time and space kind of thing. Like it made separate timelines. Like it broke.
But the most important thing we got out of that was it's been 3,000 years. Meme is very good.
Yeah.
Right. And I bet you're gonna go up to him and like he's gonna say some version of that, and we're all gonna be like, hey,
I know what you're doing.
I got you.
Yeah. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, there was you know what? It was less of a nuclear explosion and more of a large hadron collider.
Yes. Like
Which I think was kind of relevant at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah, because it split the mega and non-mega timelines.
Right.
Like it just screwed up everything
They did
somehow.
a lot of weird things. That's very true.
Yeah, I need you to tell me, Harrison. I know you're
And all
looking it
from
up.
a-
Is this
like Floette or whatever, just because of that.
X and Y was 2013. Large Hadron Collider was 2016.
okay? So very,
So they predicted
very
it.
close.
They
Yeah, so
predicted
it was in the works.
Wow, that's even better.
They're like the Simpsons.
And it was that is also where our current timelines split. But that's a whole other podcast we can go on to.
Are we about to split the timeline where we end the podcast and where we continue talking for an hour?
Yes.
We very much could as we let this thing render in Riverside. And on that note, this has been a long one. I think every time we have Mike on the podcast, it goes way too long, which is a good thing. I'm not
So
complaining.
barely let you talk about the things you want to talk about.
Well, if only we can get past freaking Excel sheets of lists and dot matrix printing.
Never get through.
That was amazing. Mike, thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out for a little over an hour. It was super fun. I feel
Good
like
to see your face.
good to see your face again. I feel like I have a dog now. I feel like it's only been a little bit of time, like 2 months.
Sure.
When was Toronto?
Yeah, 2 or 3
December.
months.
So yeah, 2 months.
Since-
But that feels like approximately one forever.
I feel like it, like what was in NSC in Ohio last for
Sheldon,
me?
you
Yeah.
don't exist
I know.
outside of that box that I see you in right now.
Yeah.
And then in 2 months, is it 2 months? Is
Atlanta.
Atlanta? Yeah.
Middle of April.
Remember that? I got my ticket.
I
That's
need to
gonna be
buy a
fun.
plane ticket.
We're all gonna be in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Magic City.
Well, it's gonna be a fun time. I need to decide if I want to fly or drive. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. I mean, it's the polite thing to do. Where can people find you?
Well, if you want to find me on YouTube, my most recent stuff is under Pokesports. If you want to find me on where I typically am, you can go on Instagram at ShowstarterMike. You can see all the other stuff that I work on.
Right, this guy produces like cool shows and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very funny people.
Yeah, we're gonna continue talking for like an hour after this. I'm so envious of you in various fashions, and so is my wife. Okay, so that being said, we've been the Game Corner. You can find us on Twitch. Not Twitch. That's not what the Twitter.
Could
X.
try.
We can
right?
try. We exist. I have a Twitch channel. It has never been used.
Hey.
Blue Sky, the link tree is down below, all that fun stuff. Thanks RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. My name is Harrison. You can find me at row_ixon on all the things, all the places. My most recent thing to take a my wife decided to barge into the office and let the dogs in and is making a ruckus just off camera.
Kick the door down.
She did kick the door down. Hi, dog.
Oh goodness.
My most recent thing is actually on this same YouTube channel. I just put out my first of our return reviews, which is a new series where we're reviewing games in the first 2 hours of the game, right? So you play for 2 hours, you say, wow, this is a great game or not. And then that's within the Steam review period, which is my silly little
return
thing.
it.
Smart.
Yes, very fun. It was on 2 Point Campus, which has taken up way too much of my time. So
Same.
it's a keeper. Yeah, and also Monster Hunters is tomorrow. That's my whole weekend. Anyway, that's not content. Sheldon, who are you?
I'm Captain Unova or Sheldon. Find me Captain Unova pretty much everywhere. It's all down below in the link tree.
Oh yeah. Mike, thanks again so much for hanging out. And for all y'all listening, comment your favorite Pokesports video you've seen Mike in. I don't know.
Oh.
That's the thing. But no matter what you decide to play, press start and game on. Bye! Oh, wow, you were there. You were there.
Caused a tornado. How'd you do that? That's amazing.
Whoa.
It was amazing. Now I'm going to stop. Wow, there it is. No!